So today we are going to look at and observe the properties of the sinusoidal functions. Very simple, very cool. You can do a lot of awesome stuff with them. All right, so this is what the function looks like. We're going to go over all these letters. Just like the alphabet starts with B. No, A. A is the first letter. That's what I meant. A, B, and then C, and then D. Yeah. So here, the letter A, that stands for amplitude. See, amplitude starts with an A. So A for amplitude. And what does amplitude do? It stretches or compresses the minimum and maximum, or the humps. So on this graph, if you have it open, you can do the same thing what I'm doing. I'm going to mess with this. Here's A. See what A is doing? It's making the humps go up and down. So if it's 2, 3, 4, you see that? What's happening is I am affecting the distance down here between this midline. So right here, the x-axis is the midline because it's cutting that graph in half horizontally. The midline, I'm putting some space in between the midline and the minimum and maximums. So right now, the space between the midline and the minimum, or the maximum and the minimum here is 1. See, here's 1 up here, 1 down, -1 down here. If I change A to 2, now it's from the midline to the maximum is 2. Midline to minimum, 2. Keep doing that, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger like that. Now it's 3, then it can be 4. That's pretty cool. Next letter, so this A, let me look at my alphabet really quick. A, okay, B comes after A. That's what it says. Yeah, B comes after A. And so B stands for the period. So this is actually, in my opinion, it's the most important part of this function because it tells us the number of cycles or waves we have over, if we're using radians, it's 2 pi. If we're doing degrees, it's 360. So if you look at our graph here in the bottom right, so 0 is here. That's the origin. And we go to 2 pi over here. You see we have one full cycle. A full cycle goes from the maximum back to the midline, minimum back to the midline. So you see that? That's one cycle. So up, down, and back. So from here, we have one cycle between 0 and 2 pi. Well, that's because B is 1. Let's change B to 2. Let's see how many cycles we have. If I change it to 2, it would be 5 cycles, maybe 12 cycles. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, it's 2 cycles. So I change B to 2. Now I have 2 cycles. So okay, because it goes from minimum to maximum, or sorry, maximum to minimum, boom. Maximum to minimum, boom. That's 2 cycles there. Huh, if I change it to 3, I think I'll have 3 cycles. Oh, yeah, I do. See, there's 1, 2, 3 from 0 to 2 pi. And algebraically, the way you can represent this is, so the period will be 2 equal to 2 pi over B. That value for B we had. This is telling us how many cycles we have. So before, when it was 1, it was just we had 2 pi over 1, which meant 1 cycle, because that equals 1 cycle over 2 pi. If I had 2 pi over 2, that means I'll have 2 cycles now, which means 1 cycle, 1 complete cycle is, I crossed 2 out, now I have pi. So 1 cycle is over pi. Now let's say if I had 4, B is 4. Oh, this reduces to pi over 2, which means 1 whole cycle will be completed over from 0 to pi over 2. And you can actually mess around on the graph with that and see it. And like here, I'll change B to 4. And you can see, there we go. So look at that. So I changed B to 4, which meant I had 1 cycle from 0 to pi over 2. You see it up here. So from 0 to pi over 2, see that? Oh, it's 1 cycle. It goes up and down and back. Cool. Change it back to normal, to 1. Okay. Next letter, check my alphabet. A, B, C. Yep, C comes after B. Don't make fun of me. I learned my alphabet very, very late. All right, so C stands for the horizontal shift. This one I know y'all can handle. That's just moving it left and right, back and forth. So here, if C is greater than 1, if it's positive, it moves to the right. Let me see what happens here. If I see, I'll make C 1. Ooh, look at that. It's just over, like an actual wave. Ooh. That's the ocean. That's what the ocean does. And if I move it left, it's negative. Now it's going back this way. It's pretty cool. change it back to 0, our original graph. There we go. Last one, D. This is also a very important one too. This is your vertical shift. So it moves the graph up or down. And what it's actually doing is it's moving this midline. Right now it's at the x-axis. It's moving the midline up and down. So it takes the entire graph with it. So if I do, it's the D equal 1. See that? It moves the entire graph up. Oh, make it 2. Now the midline's at 2 right here. You can see that. So it's just taking that same exact graph and just moving it up or down. Kind of makes me nauseous. If you're not good with boats, you can get seasickness by doing this. Be careful. Oop. Okay. Okay, let's stop that. Let's go back to 0.